Alright, y'all, I'm warning you, I have no idea when this video is gonna come out, but since I already arrived at the end of And the Haze Will Take Us, I have to wait for the update. Meanwhile, still making up for the points that I ruined, let's just say like this. I will repeat the first season before I can continue the second season, because there's no way that I'm gonna have to go through what I had to go through in Heaven's Secret 2, the second season, the finale, where I wasn't capable to get any option right. And season 3 finale of Heaven's Secret 2, and the finale of Kali, Call of Darkness. I'm not repeating that. So I decided to be focused on one path only, which will remain the determination path and the haze path. I'm still deciding which love interest I'm gonna go with that story, but I am more drawn to Dragan. Who knows, maybe the new love interest will take me by surprise. Who knows? But meanwhile, I finished that story. The first season is over. I can't continue with that story until the new update comes out. I caught up with the author, so I decided to start with this story. I have no idea how far the story is, but we will see. Supernatural and thriller. I have no idea. I never even saw a reaction of this on YouTube. So this is gonna be interesting. Astrea's Broken Heart, Season 1, Episode 1. Seeking work, you join an organization chasing the supernatural. Oh, great. So we're human hunters? Catching the supernatural? There you're tested by strange work and colleagues. This wondrous place, however, does not need believers. Oh my god. So, okay. All live the devil. They said, long live the devil. Audrey, nope, I'm always gonna remain. If you can change the name, which was like that in Kali, Call of Darkness, you had to be called Amala, then fine, but if not, I'm gonna keep my real name. My body type, I don't know, curvy? Surprise me. Honestly, no idea. Ooh, the hair. I don't see why I should. It's not like she's fat or something. What you mean? I prefer, y'all were always gonna go with the bi queen, even though we all know I always end up falling for the even though we know that I always end up falling for the boys. Because, I'm into men, but I always love, to make it versatile. We can appreciate the beauty in both genders, so we're gonna go with both. Yes, thank you. Explicit and detailed again, because I'm pretty sure my commentary during any story is a lot worse than those explanations. Enable. Yes, begin the story. Shock me. What the Honestly, I just love it when they do this. I love when they add the animation. Oh my god. Are we seeing things? Or is this the intro? I am in love already. No, I feel like this is an intro, introducing all the interests. I have this thing with blue eyes. You all already know by now. I have a thing with that blonde man. His blue eyes are hypnotizing me. Episode 1, a new start. Where are we going? This story will contain occasional scenes of violence and murder. Alright. And now for the latest news. The infamous Godlamp Psychiatrist Clinic has reopened its doors. As you may recall, a patient was brutally attacked by his attending physician within its walls. The judge's lenient sentence led the outrage in the local community. A month after this terrible event, the victim is still in a coma. We tried to contact his attacker, but unfortunately her current location remains unknown. Excuse me, could you turn off the radio? The driver obediently complied, but the blissful silence was short-lived. I'm sure she's already fled the country. Right. She almost killed the man and they only took away her license and gave her a fine. How is that fair? Since when is anything in life ever fair? God, you won't shut up, will you? Damn! The sass! Love her! Of course it isn't fair. For all we know, she's beating another patient with a paperweight as we speak. Damn, but the honesty! The driver nodded meaningfully, looking at her in the rear view mirror. That's why I don't go to therapist. Seems to me that you have to, though. I don't want to end up with a messed up shrink like that. Well, sir, if you can't actually control your own thoughts, then that's on you. But sadly, there are a lot of psychiatrists or psychologists that actually just ruin you more than you already are. Like, you feel that you're ruined and you feel the need to seek medical attention / real help. So you go to a psychologist in order so that they can help you feel better. And then you end up with someone that has not a nice touch to themselves. They make you feel worse than you already feel. And they actually contribute to you feeling worse. That's why you need to choose your psychologists and psychiatrists wisely. If you only knew that the messed up shrink from the news is sitting right behind you. What? We're the one that are trying to flee the country. No wonder we didn't want him to continue. Be careful what you wish for, I guess. No wonder we didn't want to listen to that report. Because it's us. It's talking about us. As the silence went on, her mind returned to her personal nightmare. So we're a psychologist. That means we have some serious anger issues. Simona kept her eyes on her patient, feeling for the phone. A perfectly healthy guy experiencing the loss of a loved one had suddenly started showing signs of acute psychosis. Oh, God. Admit it, doctor. You come into my dreams every night on purpose, don't you? Oh, my God. You like it when I hurt you. I can see that you do. Simona made an effort to speak calmly and slowly, concerned that he might move from words to actions. We should call a nurse into the office and talk through this. Me. I think he needs some, sleeping drafts. Just a little bit. Just small ones. That's why I could never, especially those that actually go to a mental institution. They are extremely fragile and they actually bring logic with themselves that would terrify you so much to the point where you actually would have the feeling that they could come into your house and actually, hurt you without you actually being capable to do anything about it. I could never. I'm too sensitive for this. I'm too soft-skinned. No. The beast is already on your doorstep. Can't you hear it breathing? It has come for you. Oh my God. Well, it was his fault. He was the one initiating the fight. I just tried to stop it. I was just defending myself. He jumped out of his chair, throwing the coffee table against the wall as if it weighed nothing, and attacked the psychiatrist. His fingers closed around her neck with so much force that a scream of horror remained trapped in her throat. The choice you will make now, of course. If I don't do something right now, he'll kill me. Defend yourself with paperweight. A letter opener, honestly. Why not? Through tears, Simona noticed the letter opener that had fallen from the table. Anticipating the attack, the patient knocked her hand away and hissed. The blade left a long, thin cut on his arm. You were able to defend yourself. This will affect the plot. There's no time left. It's already here. How do you feel now, Simona? Oh no. Not today, my good sis. Not today. I could never. And we're all getting all the blame because we left the scene and he was the one being left hurt. And since he was already, inside the mental institution, they blame us for actually defending ourselves because he was left at the scene bleeding, as in having a wound, and we were nowhere inside. And sadly, people think that when you leave the scene, as in the crime scene, they assume that you left because you are guilty, not because you were petrified and you were running away in order to save yourself. We're here, miss. The gruff voice pulled Simona out of her memories. Goddamn. Not today, my good sis. Not today. She picked up her small travel bag and stepped out of the car. After paying the driver, she approached the mansion. However bad Astrea Detective Agency's reputation might be, hers was now decidedly worse. Just to be sure, Simona took another look at the newspaper clipping with the listing. This was the right place. Here goes nothing. I would be petrified to go in there, look at this house. But she didn't get the chance to ring the bell. The door burst open, almost knocking her off her feet. The door or the man? A young man appeared in the doorway. Ooh! Who are you? I'm Simona, a psychologist. I called about the opening for a psychological evaluator. A psychologist, huh? He looked her up and down, his gaze sharp. You probably talked to Michael. He should have stayed you. He should have saved you the time and told you right then that we need someone serious. Do you interview all your applicants on the doorstep? Maybe you could begin by introducing yourself. I don't see the point. I'm sure you'll be gone by the time I get back. Oh, you're one of those bitches! Why should I introduce myself to you if you refuse to introduce yourself to me? Our work is difficult. And you think a poor woman like me can't handle it? God, not him being a sexist. It's not just shuffling papers around all day. Sometimes you'll have to stand up for yourself. And because we're a woman, we can... Oh my gosh, not this... Oh, these men that are trapped in the old generation. Women can't do shit. They always need someone else to stand up for them. Bitch, I can use my heels to actually stab you. I can defend myself. Don't test my patience. I'm impulsive. I said it so many times, and I'm pretty sure all of you already know. Especially the people that have stayed on the long run, that are here since my Heaven Secret Tour reaction. I'm impulsive. Don't test me. I'll find a way to actually make myself be heard. And it will be on your suspenses, okay? The pool of blood on the floor flashed before her eyes. Well, it's up to you. Second door on the right. The boss's office. He's running late. You'll wait for him there. Without waiting for an answer, he hurried down the steps and walked away. Simona went deeper into the house. Fuck no. Like him, though. Loved the sass. Sitting in a leather chair, Simona thought about her current situation. How did I get to this point? I'm trading a prestigious clinic for the shady agency. I mean, this prestigious clinic... and its inhabitants almost got you murdered, so I don't think you're in a place to say anything right now. You can't decide where you're gonna find idiots. The world is full of them. Ooh. Goddamn. Simona? A pleasant male voice roused her from the oppressive thoughts. I feel bad for her, honestly. This must be so traumatizing for her. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. My name is Michael. We spoke on the phone. I'm the director of this agency. Of course this finance man is the director. Don't worry, boss. I will make my work Very well. If not, I will give you the allowance to spank me. You will be allowed. MIKAEL held out his hand and Simona, struggling to suppress the nervous trembling that overcame her, shook it. His strong, friendly handshake reassured her a little. Good afternoon, MIKAEL. He slowly walked over to his desk and looked at her closely as if trying to read her thoughts. I'm sorry, we're capable to be on first-name basis?
To be honest, your resume impressed me. Won't you get bored with a place like this?
That's very generous.
Not at all. I used to work as a psychiatrist, but we only need someone to conduct psychological evaluations. Your qualifications far surpass our needs.
So much that you're prepared to reject me?
I'm just curious. What brings you to us?
The fact that I've been stripped of my medical license, leaving my career in shambles. Oh, right, because they actually took our license away. Like, we can't be a psychiatrist anymore. That's so hurtful, though. We were just defending ourselves, and we're the one that actually are left with nothing. That's so fucked up. Like, we're the wrong ones. Just because we defended ourselves. The choice: increase faith or skepticism. On the path of faith, Simona will be open-minded. She's direct, honest, and open to compromise. Meanwhile, a skeptic expects an ordinary life free of miracles. She's cunning, sarcastic, and always stands her ground. I guess we found out who I'm gonna be. Sorry. I can hardly tell him the truth. Of course I can. Oh my god. And what does that one down? I haven't stopped being passionate about my job just because I'm no longer working as a psychiatrist. Those who need help will receive it one way or another. My clients don't always realize they even need it. Oh yes, I agree. There are a lot of people that refuse to open up to change and to help because they don't want to be viewed as crazy. And the more pain you carry within, the more time it will take for you to actually open up to change and to open up to the possibilities that you may have been more broken than you thought on a specific topic. That someone was capable to break you and that you weren't as strong as you thought always is like something that will be a reason that you refuse to actually allow someone to help you, because no one wants to believe that they were capable to be broken by someone that was making fun of them since the beginning of time. To put an example in here, like your haters, the people that wanted to see you down. You want to show that you are better than this, that you are stronger. And when you then arrive at the moment where you actually were capable to be broken and you break down, and then you turn around and actually see how much their voices affected you, you are ashamed of yourself because you weren't strong enough to fight against all that negativity. MIKAEL's thin, graceful fingers tapped the desk lightly.
It will be foolish of me to talk you out of this job, but still I must ask, do you know exactly what this is that we do here?
You chase ghosts and your own shadows. Damn! If my former colleagues are to be believed anyway. You study the nature of unusual psychological states. Oh my gosh, I will love the story, won't I?
How delicate.
I'm very honest, son. I'm sorry. MIKAEL grinned, and for a moment Simona feared she had voiced her thoughts out loud.
Study the human mind will be your task.
Honestly, Parkdrea, is this you? Was there a reason why you wanted me to react to this story? Is this the reason? Is this why you wanted me to react to this? Because I'd be analyzing every single emotion ever since I started with Heaven's Secret 2 with Malbonte. I've been analyzing it all. God damn, nice one.
Or is this finding traces of the supernatural?
Do they believe in the story in the supernatural? She found it hard to believe that this seemingly normal man was serious. I hope this is some kind of test. No, it's not.
Experience of this kind may not make a great addition to your resume.
I don't believe in the supernatural. All of your clients are still patients.
That's true. I don't recall ever having a skeptic come to us.
Alright. Michael raised an eyebrow and looked at his guest as if for the first time. His gaze lingered on her eyes with open curiosity. Countless tiny goosebumps prickled her skin. He got that look. He looks at you and he looks right through your soul. He's capable to literally strip you naked, like mentally. You feel so emotionally fragile when this man looks at you. There are people like that. The coldness in his light gray eyes seemed to envelop her entire body. Unable to bear the scratching silence, Simona finally broke it. I hope that won't be a problem.
No, not at all. Impartially, it's just what we need.
Michael tore his gaze away from her, and his face once again took on an impassive expression.
Tomorrow you will accompany David, although you. His client claims he's sharing his home with a demon. I think this case will help both of us reach a decision on further cooperation.
Michael's attention shifted to her travel bag.
Tell me, where are you staying?
Nowhere yet, but I think I'll find a hotel nearby.
It will not be necessary. All the agency's employees live in this house.
Oh my god. I know where to go if I need some help. And it will be such a short walk, y'all. You know, like 3-some, 4-some, 5-some. Depending on which one of you turns me on the most. Like, I'm open for it all.
If that doesn't bother you, we will find a suitable room for you.
If everyone in this house is as rude as the first guy I met, perhaps it would be better to rent a room elsewhere. As if reading her thoughts, Michael added,
In any case, I won't rush you. You can rest in the guest room for the night, and we will discuss everything in the evening tomorrow. I'll call you new associate. I'll show you around.
Michael pressed a button on the phone.
David, come here, please.
Is he the one I'll be handling tomorrow's case with?
That's right. By the way, I think you will be interested in reviewing the details of the client's case. Just a minute, I'll find it.
Michael took out a stack of thin folders. Realizing that the interview of sorts was over, Simona allowed herself to relax. Hand choices can improve your relationship, of course. I wonder how things work here. Watch Michael. Why not? I'm gonna watch you. Ooh, I'm gonna watch you carefully. Respectfully, sir. I'm sorry, but they drew him horribly in this. They actually did. My apologies, because he looks so good as in the character. Michael slowly sorted through the documents while she watched his fluid movements, his fingers, so graceful, barely touching the paper with a quiet rustle, hypnotic and soothing, but her curious gaze slid higher to his sharp collarbone, almost completely hidden beneath his shirt. She took in his toned figure. All of his clothes fit so well that she felt self-conscious. I'm glad I paid attention to how I dressed. I don't look any worse than Michael. Simona stole a glance at his face. It's like he stepped straight out of an old master's canvas. He was a picture of Renaissance beauty, fair skin, well-balanced features. His hair lay as if he had just walked out of a salon. Not a single strand out of place. How does he pull off that? Michael's finger suddenly stopped and Simona was horrified to realize she'd been caught. By these eyes looking at us. How long did he know I was staring? I'm sorry, are they also supernatural? Like, actually, are they vampires? I don't know.
Is something wrong?
Thank you. With me, definitely. Me! The honesty. Oh my god, distract him with conversation. There's something in your... You know what? There's something in your hair, son. Just some small thing, but don't worry. I'll take care of it for you. Sorry, I can't ignore it when I notice a loose thread on my clothes. Or anything like that. Michael looked at her quizzically. Here, let me help. Simona rose from her chair and reached out to him. Barely touching him, she ran her fingertips along a strand. His hair is so soft. It's the fact he's allowing it, though. Like, if someone would be doing this to me, I would be looking at them as if they're insane. Like, why the fuck are you touching me? Like, where is this coming from? Like, we just met. She quickly pulled her hand back, avoiding his eyes as she did. There, it's gone. It was some kind of feather. God, what am I saying? How would he get a feather in his hair? The awkwardness. Trying not to look flustered, Simona returned to her chair. Let's ignore what just happened. Let's just ignore it. I was being very open. However, she could feel her cheeks burning. Me too.
Thank you.
It was difficult to tell from Michael's slight grin whether he believed her or not. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He didn't. I keep on holding on to the theory that he can hear our heart beating, or he can read our mind. Or he just thinks that we're cute. You still have a thing to talk about with Michael. Distract him with a conversation. We can do both. Now that's interesting. Attempting to change the topic, Simona blurted out the first thing that came to mind. I wanted to ask, do you often have encounters with the supernatural? In response, Michael lifted an impressive pile of folders.
Constantly. And you're the only one with the skills to prove that these are simply the imaginations of troubled minds.
I hope your agency won't close down from my help.
It won't. Don't worry.
He really seems to believe in all this. In which case, he's taking all my jabs in stride. You don't lose your temper easily. He's not. And again, we love to break down the defenses.
Would you like if I did?
Yes! A playful spark seemed to flash in the icy depths of his eyes for just a moment. And he is taking the bull by the horns too. Ooh, I like him. I love him. I'm gonna love him, aren't I? I love someone who's just straightforward, y'all. I've said it so many times, I can't say it enough. Be cheeky, be humorful, be honest. That's all I want from you. And the confidence that radiates from your intelligence and from your strong personality just says it all. That's so attractive to me. That's not what I meant. Yes, it is. Oh, I can still talk about... Say that you're... compliment his appearance. Come on. We're doing it all. It's not often that you meet young people who dress so formally. It's a bit unusual.
We all try to maintain the style while working. Most of the time you will be expected to dress accordingly. But in your free time, of course, you can wear whatever you please. Thought I was open to discussion.
I don't see any problem with it. Michael set the folders aside and looked down at the next one. He shrugged his shoulders and seemed to relax a little in his chair. These unhurried motions pulled the fabric of his suit jacket tight over his prominent muscles. He is very fit for someone in his position. Why? Do people in his position need to be a slug? Fat? Chasing ghosts got you into this shape? Damn! Simona ended up staring, falling into the same trap again. She was greeted by Michael's laughing eyes. Me too. Say that you're tired. We said it all. Sorry, today was a rough day.
I understand. No apology necessary.
It's been very nice to meet you, sir. I should mind where I'm looking. You should have looked a little lower, just saying. And keep my hands to myself. God, nope. Where the hell is this David? Michael handed over the folder he'd finally found.
I think we're just a bunch of eccentrics, chasing ghosts. But that's not the case.
I don't. She felt a sudden need to justify herself, but Michael interrupted.
Don't worry, you'll change your mind, we'll see.
Not wanting to argue, Simona opened the folder. The tilted page bore the emblem of the local police force. These are police documents, aren't they?
Yes. Perhaps you will get the chance to meet our correspondent there.
Simona raised an eyebrow in surprise. She knew that detectives from such agencies often worked for the police, but she had never seen it be the other way around. What kind of agency is this that the police report to them that quick steps came from the corridor? Oh, that's David?
Well, where's my best partner yet?
A tall guy with burning eyes stormed into the room.
David, it's Simona. I've never been so glad to make someone's acquaintance.
Instead of shaking hands, David gently pressed his lips to the back of her hand. Nice one, he's a gentleman.
I'll be waiting for you in my office tomorrow evening. I hope your answer will be a yes.
Oh, we have the chance to say whether we want to stay or not? David was already standing at the open door.
Well, of course you say yes. We're going to have such a good time at this demon house. No doubt about it, damn.
Simona nodded a goodbye to Michael and slipped out of the office. Oh my god. The confidence. Grinning, David led her deeper into the house along a long, gloomy corridor.
Getting to know a house should start with its heart, the fireplace.
He pushed open the tall oak doors with both hands and stood aside, letting her enter first. All right. Ooh. Again. I said it again and again. Vampires, they've done well for themselves here.
And getting to know its inhabitants should start with me.
With you? The Gauls.
I hope Michael's stuffy manners haven't spoiled your first impression.
Damn! David led her past the burning fireplace. He stopped behind the white bar. Actually, my first impression wasn't of Michael. I ran into some guy at the front door.
Ah, my sympathies.
The honesty!
I was CASSIEL. Perhaps the worst possible option. What did he tell you?
Nothing much. Just hinted that your job is dangerous.
Well, frankly speaking, it's his job to protect us from any threats. But don't be afraid, I won't let anything hurt you.
Oh, such a gentleman. Y'all, I don't know if I like him or if I don't. I think sometimes he says something that actually is very attractive to me, at least, like his personality, and then he says stuff where I'm just like, bitch, just shut the fuck up. David smiled radiantly and turned to a rack with all kinds of alcohol. Alright, do you want to get us drunk? Already? Thanks, but I can take care of myself. The guy turned sharply and stared at her with curiosity.
Is that so? Has that been necessary?
The patient who attacked me ended up with a scar. David whistled and smiled approvingly.
Well, I'll have to tell CASSIEL to watch his tongue.
That.
Or not, and he'll learn some manners.
Reputation! Some hints increase your reputation. A high or low reputation will dramatically change the plot. Okay, this is literally like, I don't know, power. 2 glasses clink against the bar.
Care to join me?
He's talkative. I think I'll be able to get to know him more. Certainly. Why not? Ooh. We get to see pictures.
I think this is a great day for whiskey. And if you feel brave enough, I'll make my signature cocktail.
Ice cubes tapped against the walls of glass.
My colleagues rarely visit this part of the house.
And of course you wanted to drag me here because...
I hope the pervasive gloom won't get to you.
David pushed a drink across the bar with a wolfish gleam in his eyes. He a wolf?
Enjoy.
The amber liquid pleasantly burned her throat.
So what brings you here, Simona? Are you looking for answers to uncomfortable questions? Have you encountered something you can't explain?
Simona took another sip, grimacing. You should have put skeptics need to apply in the listing to avoid misunderstandings. David let out a quiet short laugh.
I see, then let's talk about something else. Ask me, Simona, and I will answer honestly.
Anything he says. Ooh, him too. Ask him to talk about himself. Position changing. Can you tell me a little more about yourself?
And which part of my rich biography interests you?
David lets his elbows rest on the bar as if settling in for a long story. I'd like to learn more about who I'll be walking into a demon's lair with tomorrow.
Are you afraid of demons?
Well, I'll have nothing to fear with you around, right?
You catch on quickly. From now on, I'll be your shield not only in the battlefield, but also in this house, even in the courtroom, if you'd like. So if one of our clients ever decides to sue you, I'll make sure everything works out.
Alright, I'll use you as the human shield. I understand. My throat tightened from a sudden spike of adrenaline. Too bad I had a lousy lawyer. David sensed the sudden change of mood and wiped a smile off his face.
Hey, I'm serious. We're all good guys here. CASSIEL included, although I understand that it may be hard for you to believe right now.
She tried to compose herself, but had to force a smile. David caught her gaze, and Simona could feel his sincerity when he spoke.
If... No, when. When you decide to stay, Simona, you'll see what I mean.
You can spend more time with David. Anything he says. Ask for a signature cocktail. We're asking it all. We did it with MIKAEL as well. Bye. I think I'm ready to try your signature cocktail.
Congratulations. I hereby grant you the title of Best Colleague.
David reached for her empty glass. Before Simona could move her hand away, his fingers brushed hers. A light, effortless touch. She felt a ripple of warmth, either from the alcohol or that momentary contact. His skin is so hot. David set out several bottles in front of her. With mocking seriousness, he began measuring out their contents into a shaker. He winked ruggedly, tossed the metal cylinder into the air, and caught it. He makes everything look effortless. As he opened the shaker, a splash landed on David's clothes. Oh, crap. The tiny spots were barely noticeable, but Simona acted instinctively. She took a napkin from the counter and reached out, but David gently caught her hand.
You're so eager to help me. It's charming, but I can handle it.
Still holding her hand, David looked deep into her eyes.
Why have I suddenly become so clumsy?
My beauty is bashing, what can I tell you?
Is this your doing, sly little witch?
Simona smiled and gently pulled her hand away. I don't believe in witches.
Whatever you say.
David poured his signature drink into a glass and offered it to her. Delicious. Ask him about his work. Bye. How many cases have you lost?
Of all the questions you could have picked, that's your pick. Simona, take a closer look at me.
As though to help with his, David leaned across the bar. He looked genuinely indignant. But his mocking eyes gave him away. He was so close that Simona could sense a woody aroma, a bitter scent blending in with the one of whiskey. He whispered very softly, but Simona caught every sound.
I never lose.
We'll see about that, baby.
And I always get everything I want.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew that he was gonna say that when he said I never lose. As in, if there's competition, I always clear out the competition. Straightening up, David finished his whiskey in one gulp, as though celebrating a courtroom victory. Let's get back to work. I feel like I could end up chatting with you into the morning.
Always thinking about the job. Commendable. In that case, I won't place any further demands on your attention. Let's go get your best room.
MIKAEL said something about a guest room. David tucked the empty glasses away and beckoned her to follow.
Leave the guest room for the guests.
Ooh! He confident! He got the confidence! Again, attractive. He's like, leave the guest rooms for the guests. You are here to stay. I know you are. He led her along the already familiar corridor.
Our bedrooms are on the first floor.
After climbing the ornate staircase, Simona felt a sense of deja vu. The furniture was the same as on the ground floor.
So you have several options to choose from.
Simona looked behind the door. Ooh, master bedroom. Best in the house. And just guest room. Ooh, I don't know. You know what? Best in the house. Because we deserve the best. So we get the best.
My favorite, our superiors used to occupy this room. You should take it back before they come back.
I wouldn't want to inconvenience anyone.
That's only because you don't know them.
This one's good.
Great. Make yourself comfortable, Simona. I'll check back in the evening.
With a wink goodbye, David closed the door. Once she was alone, Simona wondered if it was even worth unpacking her bag. However, she could unpack and repack the whole thing in less than 30 minutes. I probably look like I ran away from home. Although perhaps it's true. Unsure of what to do with herself, Simona went to the window. An overgrown Gothic garden perfectly complemented the mansion's oppressive atmosphere. Surely all this belonged to some earl or viscount. Patches of white caught her eye among the dense branches, glimpses of statues hidden by the foliage. It's silly to just sit in this room all evening. I'll go for a walk in the garden. Simona opened the door and listened. The silence beaconed her, and Simona slipped out into the corridor quiet as a mouse. I hope I won't get lost. From somewhere in the distance, the faint, wistful cry of violence suddenly pricked her ears. An irresistible urge drove Simona towards the sound. The sensual melody led her to a door, slightly ajar, that opened into a spacious room. Ooh, trying not to reveal her presence, Simona held her breath. Someone was standing by the window with his back to the door. The bow sliced through the air, flexing as it slid across the strings. And the longer Simona stood behind this glorious creature, the more she felt that she was trespassing on something sacred and intimate. She attempted a silent retreat back into the corridor, but the door creaked treacherously, alerting the room's occupant to the intrusion. The melody shrieked to a halt, and he whirled to face her. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Cut, Simona went closer. Ooh.
It's all right. Sometimes I'm so absorbed in the music that other sounds don't reach me.
He hastily put down the instrument and offered his hand.
My name is Raphael, and you must be our new evaluator, Simona.
Nice to meet you, Raphael.
David promised to introduce us at dinner, but I'm glad to meet you now.
Are you a lawyer too?
I'm an appraiser. I deal with objects rather than people.
So you assess their value?
Their mystical value.
Seeing the skepticism on his guest's face, Raphael hastily changed the topic.
We're looking for someone, Simona, or are you just exploring the house?
I was heading to the garden. It's visible from my bedroom window.
Oh, it's a magical place, but don't wander too far. The garden is very old, and all the structures in it are quite dilapidated.
Well, I won't keep distracting you.
You can stay if you like. This is the sitting room, not my bedroom. It's a shared space.
Stay. I will be getting on your nerves, if I may. It seemed that Raphael only offered to be polite, but something in his eyes made her stay, as though some kind of unspeakable melancholic was trapped within them. And the violin tried to express the same feeling with its heart-rending melody. Since I'm staying, I should say something. Ask him to finish the song. Oh my god, I love this, that they added the animation. I'm sorry that I interrupted you. The melody was charming. Please continue. It seemed Raphael had been waiting for this request. As soon as he held the violin again, all embarrassment disappeared from his face. He's a musician. Love it. The enchanting melody returned, and Simona felt a long-forgotten sense of peace. The bow became an extension of his confident hand. The notes filling the room displaced time, and when Raphael gently lowered the violin, Simona was surprised to find that it was getting dark outside.
Playing for someone is an incomparable pleasure.
He bowed and reluctantly returned the instrument to its stand. Thank you, that was incredible. Share your dream of learning an instrument. Ooh, he's giving us his hand. Oh, does he say that he's gonna teach us? What is this? I've always dreamed of learning to play an instrument, but studying and work always took up all my time.
Which instrument would you choose?
Along with curiosity, there was an offer in this question. Simona shrugged helplessly. I'm afraid I'm not cut out for such delicate arts. Raphael smiled off softly and offered his open palm.
May I?
No! Not him being a cutie pie like Livius or Dino. Simona laid her hands onto it as her breathing slowed and her thoughts scattered. Her icy fingers touched his soft, cool skin. There were the hands of a musician, untouched by hard work, delicate, gentle, tender.
The hands say a lot about a person. You have graceful wrists, perfect, creative. Your fingers are like a work of art.
Damn! He's not y'all, what I have to admit, it's always like this. Whoever is a musician is also very, very good with philosophy, like poetry. It's always like this. Musicians are also good at poetry. They have a way with words. They are capable to lull you in, no matter what they say, and they always reach your heart. It's so interesting.
I'm sure you could master any instrument, but I would recommend the piano.
Please. The piano and the guitar. I'm always ready.
What do you say?
Raphael, as carefully as he set down the violin, released her hand. He casually stroked her knuckles with his thumb, and a gentle smile appeared on his face. Not me actually folding for a cutie pie, y'all. This is so not me. I always fold for the red flags. And though he clearly wasn't trying to coax her into anything other than music lessons, Simona blushed. Thanks, Raphael. I'll think about it. Raphael wouldn't mind chatting with you more. Oh. We praise your ability. Bye, not the shyness. You play beautifully. Did you study somewhere?
I'm self-taught.
The Gauls. The respect for this man. Wow, learning the violin on your own must be difficult.
I can play every instrument in the sitting room.
This man, y'all know. Musicians are my weakness. They are. Because I love a man who can sing. Because again, they are very good with words. And there are times, of course, I'm all in for the mystery and all of that. Like, I can read you. You don't need to tell me how you feel. But sometimes, in your most vulnerable state, you just want to have a guy that actually, like, comes up to you and they're like, you have nothing to fear. Like, you're the love of my life, blah, blah, blah. You all get all the mushy shit. Like, you sometimes want that, okay? It suddenly occurred to Simona that the sitting room had the quality of a creative studio. Her eye caught on the luxurious grand piano she'd somehow overlooked. He can actually play that too. There was a double bass, a guitar, period. Oh, he's got it all. And other instruments she didn't recognize. Even a lifetime couldn't be enough to master all these instruments, unless someone doesn't work at all. A little embarrassed, Raphael looked down.
I am a fast learner.
Cute. Respect. You're getting my props. I should go, but it was very nice meeting you.
Of course, see you later, Simona.
He has my heart. Already. Simona froze for a moment, expecting to hear the violin again, but there was silence behind the door. As though lost in thought, Raphael was in a hurry to resume playing. These guys are so unusual, just like their line of work. Trying not to make a sound, Simona continued on her way. The paintings hanging on the walls of the corridor caught her eye. In one, Simona saw men dressed in Victorian-style clothing. They must be the original owners of the estate. Simona went closer to better see the aristocrats' faces, which were barely visible in the darkness. Doubting her own eyes, she leaned in until her nose almost touched the canvas. The painting depicted the mansion's current occupants. What in the world? Maybe they fancy themselves aristocrats? Or they dress like this for work? No. They vampires. Or maybe they're demons. And that's why they live forever. Forgetting about Raphael, Simona trudged on until she finally reached the garden. Oh my god, she's gonna actually cause herself some harm. At one point, its opulent design had probably set it apart, stimulating the imagination of guests. But as time passed and its dominion went unchallenged, nature modestly hid everything away beneath a verdant shroud. Small wonder all the structures are run down. Fascinated by her mysterious surroundings, Simona slowly moved deeper into the garden. If it weren't for the angel blocking her way, she felt she could have walked the overgrown path endlessly. Angel? Literally? The statue. The majestic moss-covered statue seemed to be warning her against going farther, and Simona obediently stopped. She sat down on a marble bench intended for prayer and began to think. She thought about a topic she avoided categorically, God and his role in her parents' life. Oh, God. Wake up, sleepyhead. It's time for us to go to Sunday service. The girl whined, diving headlong under the blanket. Me. It's my only day off. Why can't I sleep in? Honestly, Isn't God everywhere? Bye. Honestly, yes, but you know what? How many times have I used this excuse? I have a lot of homework. Maybe it would be better if I stayed here to study? You're so responsible, dear. You can study as soon as the service ends. Your father's a pastor, and we are his flock. You must not forget this, my girl. I thought we were his family. We're all children of one big family, dear. Get up, don't make me call your father away from his work. Simona peeked out from her hiding place with a glum look of resignation. She couldn't hide from her father, no more than from God under a blanket. She knew that much for certain. I'll find a better hiding spot next time, period. We do not like God, apparently. We're shunning him. An owl hooted nearby, hinting that it was time for the guests to leave. Shivering, she stood up and hurried back inside. Oh well, happens. A familiar silence filled the mansion, as though all its inhabitants had fallen asleep, or they had hidden away in their bedrooms to watch her from the windows. I'm becoming paranoid. Simona shook off the strange thought and walked a little faster toward the ornate staircase. All the doors were closed, but for one which cast a silver of light out into the corridor. Trying to sneak past unnoticed, Simona walked on the balls of her feet. But when the warm glow fell on her face, curiosity took over. Simona froze, not daring to breathe, and turned toward the light. The gap was no thicker than a finger, but it was enough to see whose bedroom it was. CASSIEL was hunched over a desk. The bitch is back? Taking some form of pleasure in the pain, he slowly wrapped his arm. Oh my God, he was hit. This was not the first layer. A crisp white bandage coiled around his muscular shoulder. It snaked lower, tracing every contour. He doesn't seem half bad. When he's busy and not speaking his mind. Simona found herself smiling, but she suddenly recoiled in horror, retreating into the shadows. Blood appeared on the fabric, slowly staining the bandage bright red. Simona backed towards the wall. He pretty sure hurt you. She heard David's words in her head. It's his job to protect us from any threats. So he's a hitman? What is he protecting them from? And did these really come from defending rather than attacking? Pulling herself together, Simona retreated to her room. There was a tray with dinner on the bedside table, but she had no appetite whatsoever. Simona quietly closed the door and looked around for the key to the lock, but couldn't find it. Tomorrow I'll ask David to solve this problem. After changing into her only nightgown, Simona went to bed. An endless, eventful day rewarded her with a headache and overwhelming fatigue. Therefore, when her mobile phone rang from the bottom of her bag, her first thought was just to ignore it. But a few seconds later, it rang again. Who could need me this late? Honestly, late night calls are never good. Never. Because normally people, are kind enough to wait until it's morning, like a reasonable hour. I hope no one has died, at least. Looking at the screen, Simona sighed with relief. It was just her university friend. Is that true? Hello to you too, Ruth. Please tell me your colleagues were joking about you going to work for Astrea. They're out of their minds. Do you even know what they do? Ruth, please. My head is pounding. I'll tell you everything the next time we see each other, I promise. Just tell me you're okay. I'm fine, really. Sometimes there's a fork in the plot. The path you take depends on which, path of skepticism. Whatever their reputation, I don't have any other option without my license. And there's no need to worry so much. I haven't decided yet whether I'll say or hear or not. But you don't have anywhere else to go, girl? Okay, I'm sorry. It's just so strange to hear you involved with people who believe in completely ridiculous things. Maybe it's for the best, though. Maybe they'll help you come back to the church. That's not going to happen. Sorry, I'm really tired. Just don't disappear, okay? I won't, I promise. Silencing her phone and setting it aside, Simona brought the blanket up over her head just like she did as a child. Pleasant darkness enveloped her, offering salvation and protection from the outside world. Exhausted, Simona curled up and sank into its embrace. Simona followed the voice. It led her along the mansion's gloomy corridor to a battered old door. Simona couldn't bring herself to open it, but she knew exactly where it led. A place smelling of damp sweat and blood. The basement.
Please help me.
Simona bit the inside of her cheek until it hurt, holding back a scream. She took a step back.
Don't go. Please don't go.
The soft protective darkness became oppressive. Fuck no, I would be out of that house. Simona felt like she was suffocating. Fuck no. Oh hell no. God no.
I beg you, help me. Please.
The scream was interrupted by a searing bright light. Oh my god, no. Simona sat up, throwing off the heavy blanket. The nightmare lingered on her skin in form of sticky sweat.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
Simona blinked, not immediately realizing what was happening. Not this man actually being in her bedroom. This is invasion of privacy. Bright sunlight flooded the room, and in front of her, smiling widely, stood David. Still reeling from the dream, it took her a moment to cover herself with the sweat-soaked blanket.
Well, partner, you ready to sort out a first case?
Well, am I? No, I'm 1000%ly not. We will see what next episode will give us. Honestly, I think this story is giving me good vibes. And the characters are also all so versatile that I'm actually intrigued to get to know each one of them. All of them are completely different. They all have a different view of life, and it's so intriguing to just see this, honestly. But we will see what next episode will be like. Depending on the comments, I will see if I will upload this story, as in if this story will have priority for me then, instead of the other stories that I've been playing so far. But we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye!